안녕하세요, konnichiwa, marhaba, bonjour, hola. Hi, how are you guys today? Good afternoon. My speech today is talking about how I believe that American schools should instill a mandatory second language. Did you know that there are 375 million people in the world that speak English as a second language? Yet, only 55 people in America who speak a second language. And most of these people that speak a second language here in America are children of immigrants. I am one of those many 55 million people, as I speak both English and Spanish fluently. There are multiple benefits as to why Americans should learn a second language. One of the most obvious ones is money. Americans will be able to produce more economically, as people will be able to communicate more efficiently with one another. An article written by Forbes, a really well-known magazine and just brand in the US, talks about and admits how people who are bilingual get paid more than those who are not bilingual. Another thing that is really cool for Americans if they have a second language is that they're able to communicate more with the world. I can attest to this as I met one of my best friends online as I met him on Omegle, and then from there we furthered our connection and became really good friends to this day. Mind you, I never knew that our friendship would last so long, as his very first language is Dutch and mine is Spanish, and so he had more of a broken English than I did, as I grew up most of my life here in America, and through our connection I was able to help him with his English and his grammar, as he would send me his essays to help read and write. And he would even call me, and he told me that I inspired him to get Spanish as his third language. So my friend Walter, who lives in the Netherlands, is trilingual. And talking to him the other day made me think that I should write this speech and present it here today. According to a study done by Jenna Stewart, she found that introducing and increasing foreign language studies in elementary schools leads to better cognitive abilities, positively influencing others in terms of like discipline. So like you would get higher reading and math scores if you were bilingual, and just exposing them to the elements that would consist of learning another language, whether it's the alphabet or it's just simple phrases. They found that they had higher testing abilities and scores within this article. Another study that further supports this, talking about reading and math, was a study by Wally Lazark. I'm sorry if I butcher that. But it took place in Canada, and they found that students who were speaking French or students who were trying to learn French did better in college and in elementary school, as the ages that this study took place was, I believe, from 5 years old to about 20 to 25 years old, as they targeted a variety of people, as they wanted to make sure that their research didn't have that many limitations in terms of like the impacts and like who would have like the better effect. Of course, within their study, they saw that people who learned French when they were younger, when they were 5, had a better chance of retaining it and doing better than those who were 20 and older. They didn't understand it as well in terms of like the cognitive ability wasn't as great as that when they were a child. This means that the average people who are bilingual holds more advantages than the average person who only speaks one language. Their skills further develop, and now they're able to use such advantages within their everyday lives. So the advantages of connecting with people, of being better in terms of reading and math and just comprehending things and thinking logically through situations. A study that also supports this point was done by Ellen Bielostuk. She furthers this idea as well, as being bilingual uses different parts of the brain, and it does help with logic and making decisions. It makes you also more empathetic towards others. Overall, I believe Americans would benefit, as they would be more in touch with the world and receive a better understanding of their surroundings. Thank you.